Good afternoon. This is Darren and Julia with the Mental Minute Baltimore. Good evening, Julia. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing very good. And as everybody knows, I have Julia Knach with me. She is a clinical therapist with a specialty in trauma and addiction. She recently published her first book called Crossing Paths, The Intersection Between Trauma and Addiction. Everybody go out and get it. Also, she has her own practice and it's fully staffed and she's here for the community. And every week we get questions in, and we started this at the beginning of the pandemic to be here for the community. And Julie, I had a question come in, and they said that today is World Mental Health Day, and maybe you can give some suggestions on how to comfort someone with mental illness.
Sure. Today it is World Mental Health Day, so it's global recognition of mental health. And the idea behind having a global mental health day is to make it mental health and well-being a priority for everybody. And so some different ways to kind of support people with mental illness is really kind of keeping it casual. If they're having a bad day, let them have a bad day. Let them know that you're there for them. Sometimes just even having a shoulder to cry on or somebody who is just willing to listen is super important. Spending time with them without judgment. And I can't stress this enough. Don't judge. People have different things that affect them daily. And finally, the last thing that I think is really important is remember they're more than their mental illness. And when we remember that people are more than what their diagnoses or labels are, we see them as more human and we can relate better.
Thank you so much for that, Julia. And I do want to ask as well, because I know that there's a high percentage between, drugs and alcohol addiction, and mental health issues. If there's somebody out there that they're really struggling, and they don't know why, they're just drinking, doing drugs, and they don't even want to do it, but they do it. Do you think that maybe, can you elaborate the correlation between mental health issues and drug abuse and alcohol abuse?
Absolutely. And so what we know, and these statistics are little data, but about 75 to 85% of people who use drugs or alcohol also have a co-occurring mental health disorder. And so sometimes people use to kind of numb out the pain, numb out the experiences, because they haven't learned other ways to cope or regulate themselves. And so drugs and alcohol become a way to deal with certain situations. And so there is a really high correlation between substances and mental health.
Thank you very much for that, Julia. And as we talk today, as today is World Mental Health Day, that for anybody that's out there, we do this for the community, and it's okay not to be okay. And if you're saying that, man, I just feel like I've been off the pandemic or I'm dealing with something, I just can't shake this. It's okay not to be okay. Reach out to Julia. I mentioned she has her own practice, fully staffed, and she does do free consultations. She does this for free every week for the community. She's just here for us. So please reach out to Julia, reach out to myself, and we do have resources on our Facebook page. And like Julia, like always, you take time with your practice, your family, writing, everything to be with the community and myself. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Perfect. Well, thank you, and we'll see everybody later on. Thank you.